Mother's Day 2017 was a day well spent for 15-year-old Sophie Reeder and her mom, Nicole Easely-Twist. The pair went out to eat, went shopping at the local mall, and afterwards, Nicole dropped Sophie off back at her dad's house. Her mother didn't know it then, but less than a week later, Sophie Reeder would go missing. Since then, 4 years have gone by, and the search for Sophie is still ongoing. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to GrayDays TV, and today I'm going to talk about the disappearance of Sophie Reeder. Sophie Reeder, who was 15 years old at the time of her disappearance, is the daughter of Patrick Reeder and Nicole Twist. Sophie's parents described her as a sweet girl, introverted with new people, but extroverted and outgoing with her friends. She loved music, said Sophie's mom. She would go from listening to Nirvana to Tupac. The last one she was really into was Lana Del Rey. Her parents split up when she was pretty young, and at the time of her disappearance, she lived with her father in Fort Lauderdale. On the night of May 20th, 2017, Sophie Reeder left her Fort Lauderdale home and was seen on surveillance footage walking down West Davie Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. That surveillance footage of Sophie coming down the street with her headphones on is the last known sighting of her. The night before Sophie Reeder went missing, she was pacing the floor of her father's Fort Lauderdale home. Around 11:30 p.m., he told her to go to bed, and the next morning when he woke up, his daughter wasn't home. Sophie's father, Patrick Reeder, originally thought that Sophie went to visit friends or visit her mom. But after calling around to friends and family who said that they hadn't seen Sophie, her father filed a missing persons report with the police. I went into her room, I saw a candle burning and her computer on her bed, but she wasn't in her bedroom, Patrick Reeder, Sophie's father said. It was also discovered that there was around $300 in cash found in her room, which paired with the fact that she left a candle lit, led investigators to believe that she planned on returning back to the home at some point. It wasn't uncommon for her to go for walks, so we believe she was meeting with a friend, but we are not sure, said Fort Lauderdale lead detective on the case, Jennifer St. John. Sophie's father also noticed that Sophie had a calendar on her wall with the date May 19th X'd out, the day before she disappeared. But no one is sure how significant that may be. Police believe Sophie was experiencing undiagnosed depression and anxiety. And according to the Missing Pieces Network, an organization that helps families of missing persons, Sophie was extremely vulnerable because she was spending a lot of time online due to her attending school virtually. And speaking of Sophie's computer, her computer activity revealed a few more pieces of information. She had been visiting adult websites, specifically sites where older men pay to have relationships with younger women, or sugar daddy sites, which led investigators to fear that Sophie may have been abducted and forced into human trafficking. With Detective Jennifer St. John saying, "It's very prevalent in South Florida, and unfortunately it's so easy to get entangled into it and not even know necessarily right away that you're involved in it until you're so deep into it that you don't know how to get out." And when Nicole, Sophie's mother, searched her room, she became even more concerned about her daughter's well-being. "When I went through her room, I saw things like stockings and garter belts, booze, drugs. I'm just surprised that she would even think about bringing that to my house. She picked the wrong crowd to hang out with, and I totally believe social media and being on the computer and talking to the wrong people led to her disappearance," said Nicole. Authorities believe Sophie left her home around 12:45 a.m. on May 20th. Her cell phone pinged in front of a house nearby around 3 a.m. when she tried to make a phone call. Records indicate that the phone stayed in that area until around 9 a.m. when it was either turned off or died. Authorities noticed that there was an apartment complex near where Sophie's phone last pinged, and they later learned that Sophie knew someone that lived at that apartment complex. Eventually, investigators received a search warrant for the apartment complex, but it was later reported that they found no information that helped further the investigation into where Sophie was. Since then, 4 years have gone by, and despite a vigorous search for Sophie, she still remains missing. And as of today, no one has been arrested in relation to her disappearance. Over the years, authorities have continued investigating the case with hopes that someone with information would eventually come forward, but investigators fear that Sophie could be a victim of human trafficking or an online predator. The National Center of Missing and Exploited Children created an age-enhanced photo of what Sophie may look like today. At the time she disappeared, she had a heavy presence online, and she had 2 phones as well. One of the phones was left behind along with the $300 that I mentioned earlier, and the other phone was with her, but at some point it was either turned off or died. Sophie stands 5 feet 1 inches tall, and at the time of her disappearance, she weighed around 120 pounds. She is known to change her hairstyle and has a burn mark behind her left elbow. Her hair is originally brown, and so are her eyes. And at one point in time, she mentioned that she wanted to change her name to Ella. Anyone with information is urged to call the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. Their number will be listed right here, or your local authority. And I will also be listing her agency case number down here below, in case you need that. It'll also be in the description down below, like always. So yeah, it's been 4 years since she's disappeared, so she would be 19 years old now. I can't imagine what her family is going through. Having your daughter just up and disappear. You don't know what happened to her. You don't know where she is. All the information that's been gathered seems to point to the worst. So I really hope that Sophie Reeder is found sometime soon. Because stuff like this, like the lead detective said, it happens far too often, especially in that area of Florida, in the southern half of Florida. And I don't know what can be done to stop that, but somebody needs to be figuring that out so that stuff like this doesn't happen. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those nice things. It helps the channel grow a lot. It keeps the YouTube algorithms happy. But thank you so much for watching, and like always, I will see you next video.